So we all know the deal at this point. You go out to your chickens, especially around this time of year, and you go into their coop, go to the nesting box area, and you're astonished by the sight. There's literally nothing there but some shavings or straw. Here's how to know when your chickens are gonna lay eggs and how to speed it up faster. Alright, so I'm coming out to the baby chickens to describe this story a little bit better for you guys, but first of all, you need to check their age. Chickens don't usually lay until like 21 weeks old. So if your chicken's like 9 weeks old and you're like, why aren't my chickens laying eggs? I gotta say, it's because they're too young to lay. So I'm gonna show you some of the signs that they're about to start laying. So you know if your chickens are either A, freeloaders, or B, are not old enough to start laying. So the first sign of egg laying is their clucking sounds. Listen. Chickens are clucking, right? That means they're getting very close to egg laying. Typically they peep until they're about 16 weeks old. And then once the 16-week mark crosses, that's when they're gonna start clucking. Basically, the clucking will derive from a peep into a cluck over the course of about a week or two, but you're gonna notice their peeps are gonna get deeper progressively after about 4 weeks. The peeping going into a clucking sounds weird, but it's okay. And by the time they reach 20 weeks old, they'll have a full established cluck that they'll use for the rest of their life. And not only that, but I'm gonna show you some more tips. So did you notice how I just pet that chicken? That's a little bit of foreshadowing for viewer retention. Basically, if your chickens are becoming automatically friendly, if you wake up one morning and you go out to your chicken yard, and let's just say you have no rooster, because most people's first flock of chickens don't have any roosters, and you go out there and all of a sudden they're friendly around you, you can hand feed them, you can literally pet them whenever you want. That is a right then and there sign that your chicken is getting close to egg laying. Not every single one of them has to be friendly, but a good portion of them should be. So in this flock of 26 chickens, I'd say around 10 or 11 of them are very friendly. That white one over there being literally the definition of friendly. Typically, it takes about a year to become extremely friendly like Lovey was, but this chicken is already sort of becoming there with only needing to be like 20 weeks old. So that's a sign, it's a quick and proven sign that your chickens are getting very close to egg laying. Now here's a possibility, a real one as a matter of fact, and this can apply to any chicken, especially if you're moving them. If you go into your coop and your chicken's like 30 weeks old and they're not laying eggs, there's likely an issue. Issue A is that there's something wrong with the yard, or they're fighting with each other or something like that. Or issue B is that they're laying somewhere random. See, your first egg will probably not be found in the nesting box. They'll probably be found like under the coop, or somewhere in like these bushes, or somewhere literally randomly in the coop. I'll tell you what, the first egg was laid, I'd say when the yard was over there. And I'll show you exactly where the first egg was laid by Mrs. Peepers. You see that garden cart over there? That is an approximate location as to where the first egg was laid. The second egg was laid under the coop, and we put in the bucket and a couple of nesting boxes. It took them about 2 to 3 weeks to be able to adapt and know that, hey, this is the place we need to lay eggs, man. So yeah. And also one thing you notice is that they all use the same box. They go with what's popular. They're chickens. They don't have as big brains as us, unfortunately. Although I wish they did. Now, this is going to be a weird one. If you go to your chickens and they duck down, like randomly, that is a sign that they are getting ready to submit for a rooster. And just so happens that you're the rooster. So you can pick them up, give them some nice scratches, and pet them a little bit, and then set them down. Don't hold them up there for too long though, because they will be like flying out of your hand. Now there's two types of chickens when you're holding them. The first ones are the ones that as soon as you are putting them down back into the yard, they fly down. And then there's others that when you start putting them back in the yard, they don't fly down, like they glide with your arms. That's Lovey and Abro. BCT was one of those fly out of your hands as soon as you start putting her back in the yard type chickens. Now, another thing is that chicken friend groups get a lot bigger. Yes, chickens have little friend groups. If you notice how they travel with each other for a good portion of the day and sort of swap out with each other, that's because chickens have multiple friends. And don't worry, they don't have any major enemies. They're just fighting, for pecking order reasons. Now, if they're like 30 weeks old and they're not laying any eggs, there's probably an issue. Firstly, you want to make sure that your chicken coop is regulated at a solid temperature of about 70 degrees. And also make sure the outdoor temperature is a decent temperature. So like today would be a perfect day for them to lay their first egg. On the day when we got our first egg, I believe it was like 80 degrees, or like 75 degrees. However, the next day, it was like 95 degrees, and they didn't lay an egg. The next day after, though, it was like back down to 75, and they laid us an egg. You see, here's the thing. Younger chickens won't lay in the excessive heat. Same goes for older chickens. Ripe chickens will lay in temperatures no more than 90 degrees or so. After that, they become freeloaders. So yeah, not everything's about them being a freeloader, man. Be sure to like and subscribe so I can reach my 4,000 hours as soon as possible, so I can fund some incredible videos for you guys. Anyways, I just wanted to give a brief announcement that I will not be posting a long video tomorrow because I'm currently actively working on 2 documentaries, one about the ducks and another about 5 years of farming, both coming out 2 days separately from each other. So be sure to like and subscribe for those. And just a quick announcement.